Hi guys, welcome to Gearheads. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Matt.
And today, we're going to be showing you how to install an aftermarket steering wheel into my Miata.
You stoked?
Pretty stoked. I've been stoked to put this on my old car sitting in the other corner over there, but that one got crashed 2.5 months ago, so I've been waiting with these parts sitting around that I never got to put in. This is a Boss Hub kit for Miata. They sell them for a lot of different cars. Like, I actually had a quick release in the other one, but it was an old Sparkle one and it felt like really loose.
What are you replacing it with?
This is just an NRG kit.
Where'd you get it from?
I bought this one on Amazon. It was like 90 bucks or something. Push the button, going.
Look at that.
Yeah. And then when I go put my wheel back on, I'm like, let me find it.
So, it's a lot of work putting your steering wheel on.
I know. It'll be less work when it's on the car. Anyways.
Your steering wheel?
There's the wheel. It's a Momo wheel, and actually, my friend, who was a very good friend named Paul, felt bad for me about my old car getting wrecked, and he was very generous and gave me that one. He used to build dune buggies and off-road vehicles and stuff, and that was a leftover one he had sitting around in his garage, so he handed it over to me, which is very nice because usually these things are a couple $100. So, all right. First, you're going to want to unlock your steering wheel and turn it to make it easy to get to the bolts. On a Miata, first step to do is take off the airbag, and that gets you to the center nut to pull your actual steering wheel off. And there's 4 bolts in the back, and they're 10 millimeters. So there's one up on the top, back here, and over here, if you can see that, and the same thing on the other side. So go ahead and get your wrench in there and start pulling them out. Make sure your wrench is loosening and not tightening. Alright, then pull your airbag off. If you want to be careful, I wouldn't hesitate to tell you to pull your negative battery cable so you don't risk setting the airbag off. I know I was nervous about it the first time I did it, but I've done it enough times now to where it doesn't really bother me anymore.
After unplugging your airbag, you're now ready to take off the center wheel nut. Get your 21mm wrench ready. Before taking your steering wheel nut loose, you're going to want to center your wheel and lock it. Start doing this by putting the wheel into the middle position, then turning it just a little bit to the right, as so, pulling the key out, then turning the wheel back to the left, and it should lock almost right in the middle. Perfect. Put your socket wrench on the wheel nut and start pulling. It's going to be tight, so if you can't break it loose, you might want to use a breaker bar or use your feet like I did. Once your steering nut is loose, go ahead and spin it back, but don't take it off all the way. Now you want to be pulling on the steering wheel, but you do not want it to come off and hit you in the face. That's why you leave your nut on. Go ahead and start pulling on left side, right side, top and bottom, and just keep alternating, and eventually your wheel will come loose. It might take a couple minutes and you're going to have to pull pretty hard, but just keep going and it will work. After your steering wheel's out of the car, you're going to want to cut your airbag connector. Do yourself a favor and leave the wires longer than I did.
After you have your steering wheel and your airbag out, you're going to get your hub ready. Now there's 2 things on the clock spring here that you want to pay attention to.
This little black arrow at the top of your clock spring is what determines which way your wheel is pointing. So when you use your blinkers going left or right, it will shut them on and off. Take note of the two teeth above and below the steering column shaft. This is a modified Boss hub kit for a Miata with 2 extra holes drilled out to make room for the teeth. This Boss hub is completely unmodified. If you get a more expensive hub, drilling is probably not necessary, but on the Boss hub kit, your wheel will not line up straight if you use the 2 holes that they provide you with. Go ahead and get your drill kit out.
At the same time, you're going to want to remember that your steering wheel has to get bolted onto here too, and you want that to be facing straight and facing up. So if I pick the inside diameter holes on here, which is what my steering wheel lines up with, you can see right here, it lines up with those ones perfectly. It does not line up with these ones. That throws it totally off. So if it lines up with these ones perfectly, and then I count this one as facing up, it's on the same spot as this hole right here. So that's how I'm going to line this up, with that hole right on top of the clock spring. And there you go.
When putting your nut on, make sure you do not torque it down too tight. You do not want your wheel to fall off, but you also don't want to damage your clock spring. It will squeak when you're driving and may not work properly.
I am crimping this wire on. Don't want to pull it off while I try and crimp it. Whoa! Oh, see, look at that. And that is why you put electrical tape around all your stuff, because just this going through the shielding there is enough to set the horn off. There we go. There we go. All right. Now you're going to go to your quick release side, and you're going to take this piece which bolts straight onto the hub. And you have 2 wires coming from it. One of them is a ground wire, one of them is your live wire. In my case, it's this yellow one is the live wire. I'm going to go ahead and crimp that and connect it straight onto this one. Would have been good if I could have gotten one of these plugs onto here.
Yeah.
Too late. Yeah, I know they'll come out. Mine were off my own. Oh, leave it at that, dude. Thank you. Thank you for tearing my car apart, Matt.
And this is what happens when you have a terrible sound system in your car.
Alright, when you're doing this, if possible, leave yourself as much wire as you can. I accidentally left myself too little, and now I'm going to be struggling with it, but I'll still make it work. Alright, positive wire is on. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the connection in tape so that it doesn't short out or happen to come loose. It helps hold it together a little bit better if you tape it. Or if you're really feeling ambitious, go ahead and heat shrink it. Alright, when you're installing your horn wiring, after you get your positive hooked up, all it needs is to run to a ground when these two or when the horn's being pushed. So right now it won't do it, but what I will tell you is you can either run another wire, or if your car has one supplied to you, you can go ahead and hook this up to a ground. I usually pinch this right in between the steering quick release and the hub, and then bolt it down nice and tight, and it doesn't go anywhere. And now you're ready to put in your Allen screws to go ahead and tighten your quick release onto the hub, or this is where you would be putting your steering wheel in if you're putting a steering wheel into your hub. I'm going to tighten these two up a little more real quick so they hold that wire in place and it doesn't slip out on me. This is the first car. This is the first car that I've had in years that actually has air conditioning, and I'm probably going to end up pulling it out. And what am I doing right now? Sitting here sweating my butt off inside of this shop because even at nighttime it's hot in San Diego. Now the quick release base is in. Go ahead and take this. If your car came with one, it's just to make it look prettier. Slide it over and put it on there. Just as a nice little cover. Alright, now what are you going to do? Now that this thing is in completely, I'm going to go ahead and put my quick release on. There, there she is. And I will be installing a horn button eventually, but I do not have one right now. I ordered it and I have still not gotten it in the mail. I don't know if it got lost or what, but now you go ahead and just line your steering wheel up with the holes, put your screws in, and you're good to go. If you want to test it and just be sure that your horn's actually going to work, you can just go ahead and touch your negative to your positive here, and it will. Told you it wasn't that bad to sandwich the negative underneath the quick release plate. I just gotta put these in, I can go home. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go all the way home.
That's a long way.
All the way over there.
Throw on this real fast.
Alright, so you're fully installed. How do you take the steering wheel off?
Alright, you go ahead, these two plates you pull on, you have a button to push down and pull it out of the way, and voila. This is why I did this in the first place. The stock wheel is sitting all the way forward here, and it's too wide, and it rubs on your legs if you're taller like I am when you get in the car. So next step, seeing as how tall I am, is I'll probably pull the armrests out, and I would do a foamectomy and cut the foam out of the seats like I did on my last Miata, but we're going to be putting racing seats in this one. But for now, this is way better. I can actually get my hands all the way around the wheel, and I can actually drive the car without having to shuffle steer, which is dangerous if you're trying to actually have some fun. So
Is foamectomy a word?
it's a Miata word.
Foamectomy?
Foamectomy. It's where you perform surgery on the seats. You take them off and you take them apart from the backside and you pull the foam out and cut the foam. So you sit lower in the car and deeper in the seat. It's great.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us again here at Gearheads Garage. We're really excited for you guys to come out and follow us and watch all the new projects that we're going to be taking on with this Miata, as well as other vehicles that we have in store for you guys.
Including his Miata as well.
Accurate. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.
Alright. What are we doing with that thing?
Gonna blow up Christian.
Babcat's going for a ride.